it's a tough fight. Ilia, he has better striking, like good boxing. I don't know his like he never fought with guys who can wrestle very well like Islam.
But I heard it's like Islam saying that he's not fighting, right?
Islam doesn't want to fight him because if he wins him, people are gonna say, okay, you again beat 145 fighters and he's not #1 contender.
Arman Tsarukyan has just revealed his thoughts on Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria, stating that Islam doesn't need to fight Ilia Topuria. On the other hand, Tom Espinal praised Ilia Topuria's confidence after Ilia claimed he would be the first to submit Islam Makhachev. While some may see Ilia as cocky, Tom viewed it as strong confidence and said he admired it. He admitted there might be a bit of cockiness, but he liked it anyway, and even said that's the kind of mindset he wants to have. Tom also acknowledged that submitting Islam is a very difficult task, but he wouldn't count Ilia out, saying he definitely has a chance.
Ilia's come out saying he's going to be the first person to submit Islam. How do you see that? Do you think he can do that?
Love the confidence, and I think a lot of people, they look at Ilia and people like that and think, oh, this guy's cocky, but I love it, you know. I'm like, that's what I need to aim for, is that level of confidence.
The difference, isn't it? It's not cockiness, it's confidence.
I mean, it probably is a bit of cockiness, but I like it anyway. I think it's a tough task. I think if anyone can do it, I wouldn't count him out, do you know what I mean? I think Islam is like unbelievable, obviously. He's got a chance. I'm saying he's got a chance. I'm not saying he's going to do it, but I'm saying he's got a chance.
However, Arman Tsarukyan shared his thoughts on Ilia Topuria possibly moving up from featherweight to lightweight. He said he was happy about it because Ilia is a strong new name in the division and already a champion at 145 pounds. Arman said it's always exciting to have tough new challenges. When asked if he would have any problem fighting Ilia, Arman made it clear that it's just business. If he becomes champion and Ilia wants a title shot, he's ready to fight him without hesitation.
Ilia Topuria said he may be done at featherweight and he wants to move up to lightweight. What do you think of that?
I'm happy because new name in our division, and he's tough. He's a champ in 145, and it's always good when you get new name in your division, and especially like Ilia Topuria.
Would you have any issues fighting him?
I mean, it's a business, of course. If I'm gonna be a champ and he wants to fight for the belt, of course I'll fight it.
Before Ilia Topuria moved up to lightweight and vacated his featherweight title, Arman Tsarukyan said he supported the decision. He believed Ilia's move would bring more attention and money to the lightweight division. Arman said 155 was already one of the most famous weight classes because of big names like Conor McGregor, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev, and others, and adding a champion like Ilia would only make it better.
Ilia Topuria, the featherweight champion, and he's been talking about wanting to maybe come up to lightweight, maybe even vacating the title. Would you be okay if he came up to the lightweight division, or do you think he should stay at featherweight?
No, he should move to 155 because he has a big name. As much as we have big names in our division, as better for us, you know, we're gonna make more money, and our weight class gonna be like a, you know, famous. It's still famous. 155 fight, one of the best, my opinion, one of the best fighters, and because of Conor, Khabib, you know, like Islam, Poirier, Gage, you know, they're so big names, and if Ilia move to 155, you know, it's gonna be good for us.
Moreover, Khabib Nurmagomedov shared his opinion on a possible fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, saying that Topuria hasn't earned a title shot yet. He explained that Islam is getting older and should focus on fighting top-level opponents with strong resumes. In Khabib's view, Ilia still needs to prove himself by beating elite fighters before he can challenge for the lightweight title.
И он дрался, и он даже дрался с чемпионом 66, летел к нему. Основно на то, да, в Австралию полетел, у него там на заднем дворе подрался. Команда, мы считаем, что Topuria, он достойный боец. Но он чемпион, защитил пояс, выиграл очень серьезных ребят. Но эти все ребята, которые были в 66, даже тот же самый Холлоуэй, который он выиграл, он перешел на 70, он ничего не сделал. Из-за этого нам нужно, чтобы Исламу тоже немного осталось. Если так посмотреть, Исламу скоро 34 будет. Но Ислам тоже хочет драться не с Topuria и с Волкановским, или который вышел на замену с Майканом. Ислам хочет драться с большими именами, которые заслуживают, которые давно уже в 70 килограмм. Ты переходишь вес, заслужи, и у нас примерно вот такая позиция.
Arman Tsarukyan further said that it would be a tough fight and admitted that Ilia has better striking and strong boxing skills. However, Arman pointed out that Ilia hasn't faced high-level wrestlers like Islam before. Because of that, he saw the matchup as a 50-50 fight, with both fighters having a real chance to win.
If Islam and Ilia fought for the title, how do you see that one playing out?
It's a tough fight. Ilia, he has better striking, like good boxing. I don't know, like he never fought with guys who can wrestle very well like Islam. So we'll say it's a 50-50 fight.
Arman Tsarukyan lastly said he believes the UFC will give Ilia Topuria a lightweight title shot, and that might be the reason Ilia left the featherweight division. Arman explained that Ilia probably moved up because the UFC promised him a title fight. He also mentioned that Islam Makhachev doesn't seem interested in fighting Ilia, possibly because if Islam wins, people might say he only beat another featherweight and not a true top lightweight contender.
But do you think the UFC gonna give him the title fight?
I think he gave the he left 145 because of that, because they said, okay, we're gonna give you title fight.
But I heard it's like Islam saying that he's not fighting, right?
Islam doesn't want to fight him because if he wins him, people are gonna say, okay, you again beat 145 fighters and he's not #1 contender.
Moreover, Beneil Dariush reflected on Ilia Topuria's move to lightweight, saying that while Topuria could be considered one of the most qualified new contenders in the division, he wasn't convinced that Islam Makhachev or his team would be eager to face another challenger coming up from featherweight. He noted that after already fighting 2 former 145s, Makhachev's camp likely sees no reason to revisit that route and would rather focus on contenders who've proven themselves at 155. Dariush admitted it's a tricky scenario as Topuria brings serious talent and danger, but his featherweight background may hurt the case for a title shot.
If Ilia is coming into the division, I honestly think he's the most deserving, but I don't think Makhachev and his team right now want to give a shot to another 45er. I think they feel like they did it twice. That's enough, you know. Now they want contenders, and at the same time, but Makhachev also wants to fight new guys. So it's kind of one of those things where you're stuck because you have a new opponent, but he's a former 45er, and you're like, I don't want to fight another 45er. So it's a weird.
Mateusz Gamrot also weighed in, calling the fight between Topuria and Makhachev an intriguing clash, though he expressed doubt about Topuria's ability to win. Gamrot emphasized that size and power are critical against someone like Islam, and Topuria may fall short in those areas. In his view, the physical disadvantage would make it hard for Ilia to impose his game plan.
For me, interesting fight, but but I don't know. Topuria is small guy. Islam is really big guy, and I don't think that Topuria has changed against him. You know, like. If you wanna fight with Islam, you have to be like big guy, like similar like him, because he's good everywhere. But if your body is smaller than him, so you don't have change for sure.
Michael Chandler commented on the potential matchup by highlighting the size gap between Islam and Ilia. He pointed out that Islam is a naturally bigger and stronger lightweight. While he praised Islam's grappling abilities, Chandler gave Topuria the upper hand when it comes to striking. He added that if Topuria can keep the fight standing and avoid being taken down, he has a real opportunity, but Islam's strength and cage experience might tip the balance in his favor.
If Islam fights Ilia, I mean, I think there's definitely a size difference. I think Ilia is a lot smaller than Islam. Islam is a big lightweight, a tall lightweight, and he's good in every area. However, Ilia's definitely got the edge in the striking department, and Ilia is very, very, very patient. Now, if he's able to not get taken down and he's able to just patiently break down Islam with those big shots that he lands, the big punches that he lands, it's going to be a good night for Ilia. But I think if Islam gets his hands on him and gets him taken down, I mean, grappling with 145-pounders is a lot different than grappling with Islam, who is one of the best grapplers that we've seen in a very long time. He's strong. He's great at doing damage and getting good positions. I'd have to give the edge to Islam just by size, by strength of schedule thus far, and defending the belt. But I wouldn't count Ilia out.
Aaron Pico expressed excitement about the potential bout, calling it a compelling fight for the fans and for the sport in general. He praised Topuria's individual style and recent success, but added that Islam's combination of high-level technique and deep experience could prove too much for Topuria to handle.
I think it's good for the sport, to be honest with you. I mean, him and Islam, I mean, people really want to see that. Everybody has their own style, and it seems like his style is just doing what he did. Honestly, I believe Islam is just a little too much for him, but I'm also a fan, you know, so I would have loved to see that.
Dustin Poirier offered his take, suggesting that if Topuria can successfully stop Islam's takedown attempts, his crisp boxing and heavier hands could give him an edge. Poirier acknowledged that Islam's striking has come a long way. He's become slicker and more tactical. Drawing on his own experience fighting Makhachev, Poirier said the size difference would likely be a major obstacle for Topuria.
I mean, if he can stop the takedowns, I think his boxing is better than Islam's. I think he's a bigger puncher. Yeah. Islam's technique is getting a lot better on the feet. He's kind of crafty and elusive. When I fought him, you know, he fought at a weird range, but I think the size difference is just too much, I believe.
Alexander Volkanovski gave his thoughts by saying that a fight between Topuria and Makhachev would be very challenging for Ilia. However, he believed Topuria has the kind of sharp striking and timing that could cause problems, especially with his patience and ability to wait for the perfect shot. Still, Volkanovski said Islam would likely approach the fight carefully, fully aware of the danger Ilia's power presents.
Look, it just comes to can Ilia catch him? You know, that's what is, and he definitely can. Ilia's very, especially with his approach, he really backs his strike and his boxing. He really knows that he will eventually find the chin, and he's stoic till that happens. You know what I mean? He is on task, and he doesn't, you know what I mean? He'll go, even if things aren't working, he's still going to try and find it. So I think Islam's going to be a tough matchup for him, because Islam can be quite defensive and safe. I think he's going to know he needs to play it safe with Ilia, because he knows Ilia is going to have that puncher's chance.
Demetrius Johnson described the potential clash between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev as a fascinating stylistic battle. He highlighted Islam's use of range and body kicks, questioning whether Topuria could counter those kicks and use them to create grappling opportunities. While he acknowledged Topuria's sharper boxing, Johnson was doubtful that it would be enough, referencing how Islam had already handled a strong striker like Dustin Poirier.
Ilia Topuria moving up to lightweight. If he does fight Islam Makhachev, how do you think that fight goes?
I think it'll be an interesting matchup, because I look at Islam's very good about using his length and throwing the body kick. So are we going to see Ilia Topuria catch a kick for a takedown and start grappling with him? I doubt it. Ilia Topuria is a better boxer. We saw what Islam could do against a good boxer when it comes to Dustin Poirier.
Mike Perry spoke with enthusiasm about the potential matchup, saying it would be an action-packed showdown. He admired Topuria's recent performances and pointed out how exciting the fight would be, given the massive support each fighter brings. Spain for Topuria and Russia for Islam. Perry felt that the crowd energy and stakes would make this fight an unforgettable spectacle.
Ilia versus Islam is a really cool fight. Ilia's been great. The people of Spain and versus the people of Russia, we know there's two really big support systems there. That's a great fight.
Max Holloway shared his thoughts by emphasizing how difficult it is to go against someone as complete as Islam Makhachev. He praised Islam's fight IQ and his ability to control the rhythm of a bout, which he believes would make it very hard for Topuria to take over. According to Holloway, Islam's all-around mastery puts him a step ahead of most opponents, including Ilia.
Ilia versus Makhachev, what would you think? Who would win?
I mean, bro, it's hard to go against Islam. His fighting style is a tough one. You know, he likes wrestling. He likes striking. Now he's falling in love with his striking. It's hard to bet against Islam. At the end of the day, if he gets it, that's cool, but probably not. He has Volk and Diego driving down the door right now, so I think they might keep him down here.
Bo Nickel offered a respectful take, calling Islam the current pound-for-pound king. However, he said Topuria could present a real challenge, particularly if he uses effective wrestling. He referred to how Volkanovski had moments of success wrestling Islam and suggested Ilia might also have the tools to compete with him on the ground.
I think he's the pound for pound number one right now. And I think he can win. Happen. And what makes me think that Ilia will do really well against Islam is that Volk's first fight with Islam. I'm like, man, Ilia's wrestling is way better than Volk's. And obviously, you could see how the striking went.
Sean O'Malley looked at the matchup as a potential blockbuster event in the sport. He acknowledged Islam's size advantage, but gave credit to Ilia's dynamic abilities. O'Malley said that if both fighters continue performing at a high level, their clash could easily become one of the biggest and most exciting fights in MMA.
You gotta tell me you wouldn't be interested in Ilia versus Islam. God, I mean, Islam is quite a bit bigger, but I feel like Ilia's skill level is just so high. Obviously, so is Islam. So that could be a potential super fight here in a few years if those guys keep doing their thing.
Jamahal Hill firmly believed in Topuria's chances, highlighting his speed, precision, and knockout power. Hill noted that Ilia doesn't need many chances, as if he lands cleanly, even against bigger opponents, the fight could end instantly. He saw Topuria's striking as a serious threat, even in the lightweight division.
I believe he's capable of beating Islam. Just what I've seen and personally too, just like hand speed and the tricks and the way he plays with his striking game. I believe he's definitely capable of catching Islam. And if he catches anybody, I believe he can knock them out. I believe his power might even carry. Not saying that his size and things like that, he can move up to like those higher weight classes, but if he catches it, the way he hits it, if somebody even in the bigger weight class get like that, he can put them on wobbles.
Jorge Masvidal expressed strong confidence in Ilia Topuria's grappling game. He said he'd fully back Ilia, pointing out that Ilia is dangerous when defending takedowns. Masvidal explained that if someone tries to take Topuria down and makes a mistake, Ilia has the ability to quickly turn the tables and take over the fight.
I'd bet the house on Ilia. His grappling offensively, it's very good. If like you shoot in on this guy's legs and you make a mistake and you're the one going for the takedown, he has a very good chance that he might put your ass.
Merab Dvalishvili stated that Ilia Topuria should be the next challenger for Islam Makhachev, especially after Makhachev moved up from the 145-pound division and vacated his title. Dvalishvili believes Topuria is the rightful contender at lightweight, but he feels Makhachev is avoiding him. He recalled Makhachev's past comments about champions needing to face top contenders, a stance Dvalishvili agreed with. However, he now believes Makhachev is making excuses to avoid a fight with Ilia. Dvalishvili also noted that many people believe Topuria has earned the title shot and expressed hope that the matchup will happen soon.
So Ilia has to fight Islam Makhachev, especially he vacated his belt and he's not anymore 145 and he's the best deserving contender for the 155 belt, but somehow Islam ignoring him. I'm sure you guys, everybody remember that Islam told me only one word in press conference: Merab, I respect you, but when you have a top contender, you should fight him. And I said, okay, I'm fighting. But now he has a top contender as a Ilia Topuria, but he's not fighting because he's saying some other things, and we all agree that Ilia deserves this fight more, and hopefully this happening.
Georges St-Pierre shared his insights on the potential matchup, praising the exceptional skills of both fighters. He highlighted Islam Makhachev's ability to dominate opponents, often with minimal effort, showcasing his control and precision inside the octagon. St-Pierre also complimented Makhachev's aggressive fighting style and world-class grappling. He expressed that the high level of talent from both fighters makes the potential fight particularly thrilling for fans.
Yeah, I mean, that's another same thing. I mean, Topuria, when he touches, it falls, you know, and on the other side, Makhachev, he applies so much pressure. He's an elite grappler. I mean, they're both good in every areas. It's a great fight for the fans.
Arnold Allen shared his perspective on why Islam Makhachev might be hesitant to face Ilia Topuria, suggesting that Islam likely wants to focus on top-tier contenders to strengthen his reign, especially after fighting featherweights and replacement opponents. While Allen understood Islam's reluctance to face a smaller fighter, he recognized that Topuria represents the toughest challenge. He speculated that a dominant victory over Ilia would make a powerful statement for Islam. However, Allen admitted that every time he doubted Topuria, Ilia proved him wrong, so he wasn't completely writing him off. Despite this, Allen predicted that Islam would likely win, probably by controlling the fight.
I understand why Islam wouldn't want it, right? He wants to fight legit contenders, and he's had like featherweights, ex-featherweights, late notice guys, replacements. He wants to sort of solidify his title reign, but probably is no bigger fight than Ilia, right? If he goes and batters Ilia, it looks pretty good.
Do you think he beats Ilia?
These guys, I don't know. To be honest, I've ruled him out a few. Oh, we're gonna get run. Hello.
About to get ran over.
Good.
Sorry.
Ah.
My bad.
I don't know. Every time I've ruled him out, he proves me wrong. So I'm not gonna do it again. Yeah, I was gonna say I think Islam wins and he gets ironed out. So
that's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about it? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also check out our other videos on the screen right now.